What's going on YouTube and Twitch? Peace and love. It's your boy Soul Asher. The goal of this video today is to get you to a point where you're able to wisely choose your gear, and hopefully by being able to make a decision on what gear you want, this will be able to give you a plan or allow you to actually create your own plan on how you can progress in BDL. What you're going to aim for now and eventually in the future. You can take that logic and apply it to what you will do in the future of BDL. It's actually my birthday today, so this is my present to you. That being said, there's a few things that you want to consider when choosing a build in BDL. You're going to want to think, are you planning to reroll? Or are you planning to have multiple mains? Because BDO is not a game in which it is friendly at all to have multiple characters. It's actually very, very difficult to have multiple characters because not all characters share weapons, even though gear is shared. Because of this, it is very difficult to transfer gear over from one character to the next, right? That being said, let's say that you are a AP class main. If you want to have multiple characters, it's going to benefit you to have a AP class secondary. If you are a AP Evasion Hybrid main, then it's going to benefit you that your second character can be viable as an AP Evasion Hybrid. So I'm trying to get you to understand that as you choose your builds, you want to make sure that your builds are viable for both your main and hopefully your secondary character, if you're going to have multiple characters. If you're going to reroll, then it would better suit you to reroll. For instance, I'll use this as an example. If you were playing Zerker when the game launched and you were going to reroll to Striker, Zerker and Striker could have the exact same setup and Zerker would still have been viable. Now, let's say you're playing a class like me, for example, where I'm playing Tamer, and eventually I'll pick up Mystic and I'll have 3 characters, Mystic, Tamer, and Wizard. All 3 of these characters can be very viable with AP Evasion Hybrid builds. Earring of Two Magical Power, Crescent Rings, Centaur's Belt, Sicil's Necklace, etc. That being said, another thing to consider before you choose your build is, are you a PvE or a PvP main? Because DP builds are very good in PvP, but in PvE they severely lack a lot of damage. They lack the ability to damage, therefore they cannot clear in-game. If you are a DP build without AP accessories, you will have a very difficult time as new content comes. Another thing to consider is, what position do you want to play on the battlefield, right? If your position is frontline, then you better make sure you're a DP build, or at least have enough DP to survive. Because AP monkeys are going to get shredded on the front line. Unless you have a lot of iframes and you're perfect with dodges. But even then, if you're fighting in large scale battles or with lag, it's going to get pretty difficult. Are you planning to do no war or small scale PvP? Because again, small scale AP monkey can do well, but in large scale, that's where DP memes and hybrids shine, because they can actually survive. Even later game, it's always good to have AP class if you're going to reach that 260 bracket, but you're not going to be able to stay in the fight very long. You're basically suiciding to get 20 kills as an AP monkey, which is a good trade-off, but you're not going to survive. So another thing to consider is, what are your long-term goals in BDL? You know, me personally, it's always going to be content creation. It's always going to be PvP as well. So I personally have to make sure that all three of my characters can be in-game viable for PvE and PvP. So that's personally why I choose to go AP Hybrid, AP Evasion Hybrid. So let me actually bring this up here. So we're taking a look at all the classes, right? I'm going to say that obviously, you know, I'm gauging this off of PS4. All these classes are not out yet on PS4, via PS4. But if you're going to reroll some of these classes, then you want to keep this in mind because they'll be here in the future. So I'm just going to give you some basic information. You know, obviously this is all my opinion. Anyone can refute an opinion because BDO is a game of theory crafting. So anything that you really say about build is all really theory. It's all really opinion and none of it's truly fact. But that being said, in my opinion, I believe that DP builds are only viable for these following classes: Warriors, Zerkers, Wizards, Witches, Valkyries, Mystics, Strikers. If you play a DP build in any other class, you're going to suffer. That being said, even with these classes being able to go DP, you're gonna have a hard time in PvP, PvE playing a DP main class, and you're gonna be forced to grind lower content. But if you have an alternate character with AP or AP accessories, then that can easily be fixed. But that's something you're gonna want to take into mind when you're choosing your build. DP memes are going to excel in PvP, but in PvE, you're going to have a much more difficult time. Now, for your offhands and your builds for DP, you're going to be wearing, you know, for Zerk class, you're going to be wearing Ultimate Sire. For Witch and Wizard, you're going to be wearing Bronze, Dagger. They share the same thing. For the Warrior and the Valk, it's the Vanguards. For the Striker and Mystic, it's going to be the Leather. And so on and so forth for every class. You're going to be basically wearing your Accuracy AP DP offhand. And again, get familiar with BDO Codex. BDO Codex is your friend. So let's say that you have no freaking clue what your Accuracy Offhand is for your class, right? So I'm just gonna use the Sire as an example. So when I take this to Tet, you can tell it's an accuracy item because when I take this to Tet, it has 92 accuracy. That's what you're looking for. It has this okay amount of evasion and the DP. So the DP and the accuracy make this an accuracy offhand that is vital for PvP. And every single class has an accuracy offhand. You have to take this into account when you are going for a DP build. You have to have that accuracy offhand. But also, again, you're going to want to get familiar with BDO Planner. BDO Planner is going to allow you to project your gear and get used to your stats. Project your stats, see what needs to be changed as far as min-maxing. It means, you know, trying to find the best piece of gear at your current gear score. Now, this is a DP build for a Berserker. That's all base. You know, but as you take these to Tet, you're gonna want you're gonna want to project your cadres for try. It's too hard to get Tet. I'm trying to make this reasonable for you guys. You really want to get like, so again, I have Heave here because Heave has more DP than Begs, and if you're going DP meme, every piece of DP counts because you're gonna reach that DP bracket, and that DP bracket is very vital for you. So Begs is not important for a DP build, in my opinion, because you want to stack as much DP as possible. So you're gonna want to take your Heave to Ultimate and to Pin. You're gonna want to take all your gold accessories to Try. You're gonna want to take your Muskins and your Dim Tree to Tet. You're gonna want to take your Centaurs to Try. It's a gold accessory. Your Zarka to Tet, and your Dandy to Tet. Obviously your offhand to Tet. You're gonna want to try and get everything tat that's green or that's boss gear, and your gold accessories you want to aim for try. Eventually, you know, of course, go for tat on the accessories, but this is a reasonable build and this is what you should be aiming for. Now, in between this, obviously, you know, you have to take into account what's in the marketplace if you're going to, you know, look for intermediate gear. So when doing that, obviously for your beginner armor set, you're gonna want to go with like helmet, chest, heave, and then like boots and helmet and gloves, heave, and then you're gonna want to go with chest and boots, granil, because if you're going for a DP build, you're gonna want to keep your heave gloves, you're gonna want to keep your heave helmet. That way you can get the max HP 2 set bonus. So that's the green gear you're gonna start off with, right? And as far as accessories, you're gonna want to look for the blues to start off with. Shrine Guardian token for your rings. Those are the easiest, and they're super freaking cheap. 159k per. They're just so cheap for a DP meme because nobody goes DP meme. Bench shows, you can start off with that. That's a blue, and you know, for your earrings, it's gonna be token of friendship. To start off with, it's really easy to start off a DP build. Now outside of that, now let's go to let's get off of DP memes for a second, because majority of you won't be going DP memes because people just aren't really willing to deal with the lack of damage of a DP meme, even though they're amazing in PvP. If you're a Shai, if you're gonna transfer like a Shai or something, you have to go DP meme. But that's really why I brought it up first. You know, if you're gonna go Shai, you 100%. I guess I forgot to mention that if Shai is like, it's not just viable as a DP meme, you have to go DP meme as a Shai. But anyway, switching off of DP memes. Now, I'm just gonna bring up, you know, a basic AP monkey build. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So AP monkey striker. AP monkey striker is, you're gonna want to go with a tri ogres. I didn't say tat because tat ogres is just really unrealistic. Even tri ogres is pretty difficult, but tri ogres is somewhat realistic. Try Crescents, you're gonna want to go for. You're gonna have to pick up best gloves if you're gonna go AP. You're gonna go with Bassies, you know, standard Muskins, and you're gonna want to go Tet Witch or try Tungrads. Tet Witch is a little bit more reasonable. There's not that many Tungrads that are floating around the market. There's a decent amount, but there's not a lot. So this is for an AP build. Now you will not be going Nouver offhand for this AP build. In current BDO PS4, you will not be going Nouver because Nouver does not have enough stats to make it viable in this current meta. We don't have enough accuracy, we don't have enough AP to push past the lack of accuracy. Now, once we get to the brackets of like 250, 260 AP, then you can switch to a Nouver. Right now, you're gonna want to stay with your AP, DP, accuracy, evasion, offhand, because it's just essential, right? I don't know many people that are going to go AP striker. This is just a basic build that I'm giving you, and if it's not for your class, you simply just switch out your offhand for whatever offhand is on your class, but everything else is the same. You're going to be wearing dandies, you're going to be wearing Kazarka. Now in between that, let's say I'm going AP monkey and I'm starting off and I need to know what's viable to start off with as an AP monkey. Obviously, you know, witch earrings, blue coral earrings are much cheaper than witches by 4 mil, and you can get a duo blue coral for 45 freaking mil, whereas a duo witch is 100 mil, so it's double the price. They're both still reasonably priced, but for, you know, just a 1 to 2 to 3 stat difference, whatever, depending on the level, I would much rather go with the blue coral as an intermediate piece and then eventually switch to witches. Now if you have the money, go ahead, go for witches, However, your goal is to get off of Sulus as quickly as possible if you're new, and your goal is to try and get to that in-game gear as quickly as possible while also being viable in current content. So, you know, for your rings, if you can't afford Crescents yet, you're gonna want to go for Mark of Shadows, right? If you're an AP monkey, you're gonna want to go for Mark of Shadows. You know, I personally always go Red Coral just because the classes that I play are viable as hybrids. But if you're not a class as viable as a hybrid like a ninja, there's no reason to go Red Coral. You're gonna get one shot regardless. You have to go Mark of Shadow. You have to. There's no choice. Now for your necklace, you know, Belt of Schultz or Necklace of Schultz is decent. Belt of Schultz is also decent. You're an AP monkey. You have to start off with, you know, the base AP items in the game. Schultz isn't terrible. It's not bad. And, you know, for your belt, it's gonna be Belts of Schultz. It could be Tree Spirit belt if you want a little bit of accuracy. Tree Spirit is really good. It's just a little bit more expensive, while Schultz is extremely freaking cheap. So because it's beginner gear, you're starting off with a cheaper item. So again, I'm trying to reiterate to you guys how it is possible for you to essentially find a build, aim for that build, but find intermediate gear to pass the time between you get to that in-game gear. Because starting off a game in the current state of BDO PS4 and going for in-game Crescents and in-game Ogres, you're going to hinder your gear progression, and it's going to be bad. That is not good min-maxing. That is not good utilization of your funds. You have to start somewhere before you end at the best gear in the game. It's just not gonna work, okay? So again, if your goal is AP monkey, you know, you're still gonna start off with, you know, the 2-piece Grunil, 2-piece heave. You're just gonna swap out accordingly. Just make sure you got that heave helmet, but you're just gonna swap out accordingly as you get the gear you need. Now switching to, I didn't really mention this, but an AP build is pretty much viable for almost every single class in the game except for like Shai. I probably wouldn't go AP Valkyrie, but there are people that have done it, and you know that they swear by it. AP Monkey is good for every class, but like Valk and Shai. You can, that's the BDO meta. Just stack as much AP as possible and melt your opponent. Now, AP Evasion Hybrids are only valid, in my opinion, for Tamers, Wizards, Witches, Mystics, and potentially Rangers. I say this because Rangers don't have a lot of dodge, so stacking a little bit of stamina with a little bit of evasion, it may work out in the long run. That's something that would have to be tested. In theory, it would work with a ranger. I personally, if I'm playing a ranger, I wouldn't care about dying, and I would steer you towards the AP monkey side. But let's say you're going to roll from a ranger to like a mystic or something, and you're gonna play a class that requires that AP evasion. You may be able to get by with it, as like a C grade or a low tier ranger. But again, I'm just trying to get you to understand, you can make it work with these classes if your goal is to play another class that's actually like, we don't have Mystic out. So if you want to play Witch, you want to play Wizard, you want to play Tamer, and then you want to play Mystic later on, you can play these classes, build this way, and then be really viable on a Mystic later. It's just all on how you want to project your BDO path, right? Now, a typical AP evasion build is going to look something like this as this loads. Next time I make a video like this, I know to preload the builds. I've never seen this website load this slow. Here we go. well, while that's doing that, let me go ahead and just show you the gear in the game while it's taking forever. Oh, now it wants to load. Okay, so again, you're still gonna want to go with, for an AP Evasion Hybrid, you can go with the Accuracy Offhand. Again, the only time you're ever going to use Kudum is PvE. The only time you're going to use Nouver is if you're 260, 250 AP plus, right? You're always going to be using this, the AP Evasion, the AP Accuracy and Evasion Offhand for PvP. The only classes that can get away with using a Evasion Offhand is Tamer, Wizard, Witch, because they have so much damn accuracy built into their skills. Those are the only 3 classes, in my opinion, that can get away with using like a parrying or a Rosar. But for most AP evasions, you're going to go with, your AP Accuracy Offhand. You're going to want to go with Sicils, Crescents. You're going to want to go with Earrings of Seal Magical Power. These are very easy to get. They're, you just go to witches and you farm a repeatable quest. I'm sure there's guides out there for these everywhere. They are AP DP and they come with, a decent amount of evasion. I don't think that evasion. Oh, okay. The hidden evasion plus the evasion. Okay. So it's 12 evasion total at TET, which is, it's best to slot for an evasion build. Standard Muskins, Centaurs, because Centaurs has evasion as well. I do know some DP memes that go with, Ruby Manos earrings for evasion, but me personally, I prefer the AP evasion route instead of the DP evasion route. But if you do want to stack more DP, you could do that. However, AP evasion is much more viable for Wizard, Tamer, Mystic, which is what I'm going. Those are going to be my top 3 classes. So this is my build, and it will work for all 3 classes. I'm simply just swapping out my offhand. Eventually, I'm going to go for Dandies, and obviously, Zarka until Black Star comes out. But even then, it's kind of debatable. It depends where I'm at in the game. If I'll even swap to Black Star or I'll go pin Zarka, but who knows? So again, Centaurs, Sicils, the normal Crescents, and the Earrings of Seal Magical Power. That is for an AP evasion. Now, for the AP Accuracy build, the only thing you would change from the basic AP Monkey build, which is this one. The only thing you would change from the AP Monkey build for an AP Accuracy build is you would switch out your witches for red corals, and you would want those TET as well because they're blues. Now this would boost your accuracy up to over 400. This is only for classes like Ninja and Warrior. You get 430 plus accuracy on these classes because you don't want to miss. If you miss on a Ninja, it's curtains. If you miss on a Warrior, it's like, what's the point? The whole point of a Warrior is to lock an opponent down. So again, I'll reiterate, those are that's my opinion on the classes that can be viable in these builds. Now, AP Accuracy, AP Evasion, and are builds that are very good in PvE and PvP because they're hybrid. They're very good in PvP. They are not frontline. They are pretty squishy. If you want to be frontline, you want to be someone who can actually change the tide of the battle. If you want to shot call, if you want to be in the middle of main ball, you're going to want to go DP, or at least hybrid, but definitely DP. But the thing about a DP build is your crystals are so essential. You're gonna have to make sure that you theorycraft and actually go over the crystals. I'm not gonna go over crystals today. I think I've given you enough information on how to project your gear and transfer that into your other mains or other characters. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you for watching, you guys. Peace and love.